Good evening, our loyal subjects. I am Josh Houselander, and you are listening to the best podcast in history, episode number 2 of the best podcast in history. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Miss Tiffany Foresi, and our equally lovely producer, Mr. Adam Hernandez. Say hi, Adam.
Oh, come on. You have to say something today.
He's going to pretend like he doesn't want to talk, and then we'll get him going later.
No, we have to bait him several times.
Yeah, we will. We'll bait him. He'll say something. We'll say something. Absolutely. So, Tiffany, okay, I know in the future we're going to talk about some more hardcore and intense history subjects. We're going to delve deep into many aspects of history from, recent to far, far back. Verging on anthropology, they will be so far back into history. But not this week.
No.
This week we have history happening right before our eyes. And although it's recent history, its historical nature is important because it's royal wedding season, yo.
It is.
Yeah, it's royal wedding season. I mean, we're psyched. I'm psyched. I know Tiffany's psyched. It was royal wedding this weekend. Prince Harry got married to an American chick.
Actually, she's Canadian, I think, dude.
Well, but she was from...
yeah, she's from America. He lives here, but... Or she actually lived in Toronto, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and hey, Canada's still American.
Yeah, we dig
It's just not United Stater.
Yeah.
still American.
I mean, I don't know. Would you hit it? That's the question.
Oh, Prince Harry's girl? Yeah, she's pretty cute.
She's
pretty cute.
I'm on the fence about it.
I actually think she is... This is going to sound mean. Because, yeah, I mean, I'd hook up with her. But, but I'm a podcaster. That's my thing. I'm not the Prince of England. I'm a dude who does podcasts at night. So,
don't generalize all of us. Just because we're all podcasters here doesn't mean we'd all hit it.
Yeah, but I just, is she, I am about to marry the Prince of England. I'm about to marry the Duke of Sussex hot. I don't know. I don't know if she's that hot.
No, I feel like she's like, I'm not going to be mean. People might hate me, but I feel like she's a solid 6.
A solid 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she's got something that we don't know about. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's maybe an 8, a California 6, which is where she's from. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you on this. I don't think Kate Middleton's that hot either, though.
She's not, but I actually think she's, way prettier.
Do ya?
She's probably a 7.
Really? See, I feel like Kate Middleton is she has kind of like that regal, British pretty thing going on. If I had my choice, though, which one of these chicks are you gonna hang out with tonight? I'll actually take Megan.
What? Alright, I'll take Kate.
Yeah, you'll take Kate?
Yeah.
Right on. See, so Adam can be our wingman at the bar.
Yeah.
And there'll be no argument between us.
Yeah.
You take home Kate, I'll take home Megan.
Yeah, apparently I'll be into chicks for a night. I'll take Kate.
Apparently I'll be into chicks that night, too. No, but the wedding was beautiful, though. Was it not? Yeah. I loved it. I did love it. And I like her. Yeah. We're sitting here being really petty right now. This is supposed to be a history show, and we're being pretty shallow.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah, no, neither can I. I mean, it happens, So we're being pretty shallow. We're beating her up for how she looks, but I mean, come on, she just obviously she's got looks. Obviously, she's got some game. She just married Prince Harry.
Yeah. Yeah, considered the most eligible person on the planet after William, because he's no longer eligible, right?
Right.
So.
Okay, before we get into the who was there, who wore what, the nitty gritty, I want to ask you something because you're talking about them being eligible. Now, did you notice during the ceremony when they, said basically the thing about about them being loyal to each other?
Mm-hmm.
What was with the crowd snickering and chuckling? Is that supposed to be a rip on the royal family? that when they ask the man, "Are you going to stay loyal to the woman?" and he says yes.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
That
also
it's
Prince
like-
Harry, dude. I mean, he had, like, do you remember his Vegas trip?
Yeah,
He got a little crazy, but maybe those days are over. He's like, I've done it enough.
I actually think they are for him.
I think so, too. He looks, like, super into her.
He totally does. And what is so interesting about the royals, and this is history unfolding before our eyes, if you are somebody that not only studies history, but studies this specific history with, you know, the royal family, is that now, all of the sudden, with these two boys, basically, the royal family is allowed to marry for love.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yep.
It's never been like that.
No.
They're actually just allowed to marry who they want to marry.
Yeah. I'm sure it was super hard, though, with Kate Middleton. I'm sure there was, like, a lot of hoops. I mean, he was dating her for, like, what, a decade?
Yeah.
And the queen's finally like, okay, just do it already. Just marry her.
That is kind of crazy, though. I mean, and actually, to give some credit, too, to their dad, who, he kind of did it, too.
He did do it.
Because, I mean, he was, you know, he was selected to marry Princess Diana, who was hot, by the way. I mean, she was smoking hot. And, I mean, she's basically, like, the perfect chick in so many ways. I'm not even saying, like, looks-wise. Adam's shaking his head. See, Adam likes to be petty and shallow like the rest of us, but he likes to do it, like, behind the scenes.
He just likes to head nod
He's
behind there.
He's like, I'm gonna feign offense when Josh says that a chick is a California 6. But
Because a Princess Diana is not hot. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
I mean, but she's hot, and more so, she's just cool. She's elegant. She was there.
Super classic, though. You know what I always wanted, though? I always wanted to see her in long hair.
Yeah, I do.
You know that little shortcut? I mean, I love her, but I just like, wear some long hair
I know,
one
it was
time.
so 80s.
Yeah.
It was so 80s. No, the 80s short hair on chicks thing was really something that, I mean, as a historian, I don't want anything to ever be forgotten. But if we could forget something from history, it'd be short hair on chicks in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, that we could forget about that.
You know how many chicks cut their hair because of her? It was just like a wave of short hair.
Oh, my mom had short hair in the 80s.
My
Big
mom,
time.
yep.
Yours too?
Mm-hmm.
Adam, did your mom have short hair in the 80s?
No, she had short hair in the 90s.
In the 90s? Well, that's okay. That's the same
It kept
thing.
going along.
Yeah,
Like
it
that.
happened in the 90s still.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew
Yeah,
Barrymore.
no, my mom had
Because she
short hair
died in
the
97
90s.
too, remember? So
Yeah.
like that was still going. Hillary Clinton, you know, did a nice little short hairdo. It was popular.
Yeah. 80s, 90s. Yeah, that whole era, for sure. We digress. Yeah, like when pictures of me as a little kid, my mom has hair down to her butt, and then like 80s, 90s, my mom's rocking like the Princess Diana hair.
Yeah, my mom too.
Yeah, so I mean, it happened. It was a thing. We can't shy away from it. You know, it's like a lot of things in history that aren't savory. You know, it's the Holocaust or
short hair.
Yeah, short hair in the 80s.
I'm sorry. Did you just put short hair of the 80s and the 90s right there with the Holocaust?
And the
He did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, no denying.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I just muted your mic.
I'm the host of this show. My mic. No, of course I'm kidding. Hair in the 80s and 90s is, of course, not equivalent to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Because even the people in Iran aren't denying that terrible hair in the 80s and 90s existed, where they are denying Holocaust. Right, Adam? I'm sorry, no more Holocaust jokes. Adam's getting so upset.
We'll get back to Royal Wedding.
Yeah,
we won't hurt your feelings anymore.
Yeah, no more Holocaust jokes. I'm sorry, I will not do any more Holocaust. It is bad. It's bad. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing Holocaust. Too soon, right? Adam, I'm the bane of Adam's existence. Yes.
More so than that.
He's like, don't look at me.
Okay, but I guess my point.
Your point was Charles married for love. You know?
He did because he had Diana, who was beautiful and elegant and royal and all of the things you were supposed to be in this arranged marriage. It's not like they arranged him with a crappy wife. They arranged him with Princess Diana. She was lovely and beautiful and perfect. But they didn't get along. They didn't like each other.
You can arrange everything, but you can't arrange love. You know,
No,
he met
you can't.
Camilla Parker Bowles before he even married Diana.
Yeah,
so
and he was so into her.
Yeah.
He is. And she's not hot.
Yeah, I don't
She
think
never
she
was.
Is. No, yeah.
She never was, but he loved her, and that's important.
Yeah,
and
so he probably passed that down to his sons, you know, somehow.
Like, hey, one of these days I'm going to make sure that you actually get to marry the chick you want to marry.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, I actually, like, a lot of Charles, but he does a lot of things. Like, I mean, he's, like, very into, like, you know, holistic cultures, you know, like, you know, mental health, you know, the way you eat. You know, finding true love, perhaps.
Yeah,
no, so it's just like a lot of things, and he doesn't even get along. When he was younger, he didn't even get along with his mom, the queen. Mm-hmm. So obviously they have opposing viewpoints, probably. Who knows?
And he's just, I mean, how long do you think he'll actually get to be king?
Not long. 10 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because the queen's going to be to like 110. I mean, let's just face it.
Right. Right. No, I mean, and already right now, she is the longest lived monarch and the longest serving monarch.
Yeah, because I think did that go to Victoria, Queen Victoria first, and then she outlived Victoria's reign because Victoria did like 60 years.
Yep. Yeah.
So now she's in like above 60 now.
She has surpassed her, so she is the longest You know, she is the longest serving, but also the longest living.
Yeah, even in the world too. I think.
Yeah.
Because there was another guy, I forget what his name was, but he was the longest serving monarch. But then she even. I don't think so.
No.
No. Pretty sure it's not, but she's now like she's it. Mm-hmm. She's the
King Louis the 14th was up there for a long time too because he took over when he was like 5.
Yeah,
but she even broke that.
Yeah, she's a baller.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Question is she going to be on our list later?
She might be. Listory will bring about several things, but we'll see. Yeah, Listory for this episode will be our favorite.
British Monarchs.
Yeah, not most influential, not most powerful.
Just our faves.
Just our favorite. Just our favorite, because this is a fun episode. This is royal wedding time.
Yeah. So what else happened at the royal wedding? Tell me, bro.
Okay, so, all right, I was up at 5 a.m.
I was not. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
I was up at 5 a.m. I was watching all the coverage. It was more like 4:30, actually. I was watching all the coverage. Watching, them wait, all the well-wishers waiting outside, waiting for people to roll up in their Rolls Royces, or horse and carriage, or however they were getting there. Very cool. I watched the wedding, watched coverage afterwards. I watched the replay of the wedding.
Oh gosh, that must have taken hours.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
This is like an all-day bender, man.
It was my day. It was basically it was 4:30 a.m. till 3 in the afternoon, I'd say. It's just watching. And that was cool because, my kids, I didn't wake them up at, 4 a.m. But then they got up and they watched the replay with me. And they were digging it.
Yeah.
That was cool. And I, told them some of the stuff. Pointed out the who's who.
Yeah, I mean, she had a lot of celebrities there, too. Did you see that? She even
did.
had Oprah. I was like, where does Oprah come from?
Well, Oprah's just, so powerful, though.
She just gets an invite because she's Oprah.
I mean, basically, there's 600 people invited to this wedding. How cool are you to be one of those 600 people?
Yeah. I mean, there was many people I didn't even expect. I'm like, I didn't even know you were friends with them. Like, George Clooney, like, where did you come from?
Yeah, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Super cool. Supposedly, Meghan Markle is very good friends with George Clooney's wife.
Really?
Yeah, I think they acted together. So George Clooney was actually kind of like the +1 in that invite, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think, oh, it's Clooney. I'm inviting 600 people.
I mean, she's a lawyer too, and she worked in like London and stuff like that. So she's a prominent person herself. So,
Clooney's wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
She's really smart. He married a smart one.
Oh, cool.
Is it Amal Clooney?
Yeah.
Amal Clooney.
Yeah. She's super beautiful and smart. I mean,
yeah, she's pretty cute.
She's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she is. Yeah. Do you think George Clooney's like hottest dude ever, or you're just not on board?
No, I think he's pretty hot. I'd still hit it.
I look at Clooney and I just, it doesn't matter. It can be the royal wedding. It can be, he can look so distinguished with his salt and pepper beard. And I look at him and I just see nipples in the Batman suit.
Really?
That's it.
I forgot he played Batman, dude.
That's it. I just see no windshield on the Batmobile, nipples in the bat suit, and like like, damn, you just killed that franchise, bro.
There was no.
I loved that
windshield on
movie
that
though.
van?
Yeah, there's no windshield on his Batmobile.
I loved that one though.
Yeah, with Batgirl.
Yeah, wasn't it Mr. Freeze, like,
Yes,
and like
yes.
Uma Thurman, Poison Ivy, like best costume ever? Yes.
As when my kids were really little, my older kids, when they were really little, they were my daughter loved that one. That was the one with Batgirl.
Yeah, that was my favorite. So
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a horrible movie, but I mean, it's cool. It's there. You know, I mean, I still kind of dig it. I've seen it like 700 times.
Trust
So
me.
like here I am like ragging. I'm like, oh, it's such a dumb movie, and I've seen it like easily into like 3 figures, easily.
Yeah. Every time it's just on cable, you're like, well,
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah, it's just like I can't believe my VHS copy of it still works.
I have a VHS too.
Yeah, it's just but it does still function. It does. But hey, George Clooney, he turned his life around after ruining the Batman franchise and wrecking Bob Kane's hopes and dreams, and he now got invited to the royal wedding, so it worked out for him, I guess.
Well, let me ask you, what did you think about her dress?
I liked it.
You did?
I did. You didn't like it?
I felt like it looked like a napkin.
Like you didn't like the long train was so awesome though.
No, the train and the veil was beautiful, and I read that they actually made them in separate places.
Really?
So like, and then they came together around like April to see like what they look like and stuff like that together. But I mean, I did not like it at all.
No.
I mean, I can see where it is, like maybe far away it looks really nice and like put together, but like the up close and stuff like that when she's walking around, it just looks so bulky, like it doesn't flow well. Just seems like really hot even. Like it's like really thick material.
Well, it's in England though.
Yeah, but
so like a hot day in England's like 60.
But it was like still pretty nice that day.
Yeah, it was.
And I didn't like her hair. Oh man, like I feel like I'm ripping on her, but I didn't like any of it.
I liked it that she wasn't too heavily made up. You could like still see her freckles.
Yeah.
Stuff. I did like that.
Like her makeup was pretty, but I just didn't like her hair's like center part. Like I don't know. I mean,
My wife hated her hair.
Oh, did she?
Hated her makeup.
Oh,
she,
and Adam's wife does hair and makeup.
I mean, she was commenting on how it was falling out her hair.
Yeah, it was.
Your wife could have done.
It was very messy. Like
Yeah,
they say.
Yeah, exactly. When you do wedding hair, it's not supposed to come out. Like she was having to put her hair behind her ear, and you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
It's supposed to stay up, and
it looks like she was just like sweating at times, and like her hair is all messed up, and it was just not very nice. I don't know.
So Josh, you're wrong.
Hey, I can I can stand corrected. Hair and makeup is not my expertise.
Yeah, I just felt like, she's got really long hair, and like against that white dress it would look so beautiful and like, contrast,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
I mean,
the service though, pretty cool, and some historical aspects to it that are breaking the history, if you will. The the preacher from Chicago, Illinois. I mean,
dude, did you die during that?
Yes, I mean, I liked it though.
I loved it. It was like love, love, love. It's all about love. And she was sitting there so poised, like if you just saw her, she was just so perfect, and everybody else's faces were just like crazy expressions.
I feel like hey, I think maybe some people in the royal family needed to hear that though.
I know. But watching her expression, I was like, man, she's probably like, yep, I did all this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing shit. Like, you didn't even realize it happened, but it's happening.
No, for sure. For sure. I liked it. I thought it was cool. The choirs were so cool.
That was, I have it on the computer screen right now, but this was...
That was the best face ever.
Zara Tyndall's.
Phillips, yeah.
Yeah. That was her reaction during the...
I saw that one and I was laughing. And her arm was like this. Like, it was like, just like... It was like her whole body was just hilarious.
Is this one of Harry's ex-girlfriends?
No, that's
Anne, Princess Anne.
Yeah, Princess Anne's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that is Princess... That's Harry's cousin. Yeah. Correct? Yes. Princess Anne being
Elizabeth's
younger sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just hilarious watching everybody's faces, and even the queen. I was like, the queen just didn't even care. It seemed like she was the one person who it didn't seem like fazed her. Mm-hmm. Like, but everybody else was just like, their expressions was just comical.
I know. I've seen all these pictures of the queen, and they're trying to assign that she has like like she has this like terrible look on her face, or that she's, you know, looking upon the wedding as, you know, like there goes the neighborhood or something like that. And I'm just not buying it. The queen always kind of has resting.
She always looks like that.
Yeah, she has resting bitch face.
Yeah, she does hardcore.
So like, the queen's the queen. She's the queen of England.
Is
like,
she the queen of resting bitch face?
She's the queen of everything, man. Yes,
she can do whatever she wants.
Is the queen of resting bitch face. She had resting bitch face long before that was that term ever existed. So.
Like, do you know, like, when they came together for the wedding dress, like, apparently it's not that the queen has to approve it, but you know, you have a meeting like a month or so before the wedding, and the queen is just you and her, or maybe like, I don't know if anybody else is in the room, but can you imagine what it's like? Just like, yeah, so you like the dress, like, and then she's supposed to give you advice, and you know, like, she's just like, head shaking, like, just whatever.
No.
Like, that'd be so intimidating. I'd be like, okay,
we do not like it.
No,
we do not like it.
Can I have a spot of tea now? Thank you.
Yeah, because do you think she uses the royal we constantly? Like, even when, you know, just talking like regular people?
Probably.
Like, we are tired of this.
Mm-hmm. She's like, carry on. Don't need it.
We believe this wedding is taking too long. We believe this African-American chap has spoken long enough.
See, the thing is though, she can get up and leave whenever she wants, though. She's like, okay, I'm tired, you know, and she gets to come in last, you know? Did you see how she came in last? Yes. It's like, yep, I don't have to wait outside, I don't have to do anything, I just come in and sit down and everything starts.
As awesome as it is for Meghan Markle, the now Duchess of Sussex, to have this beautiful wedding, she was still only the second most important person there.
Even like before she walks down the aisle, guess who comes in the room? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she still is like outshining you in some way. But it was great.
I mean, happy wedding day, but God save the queen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's really all about.
I thought that was so weird, you know, because when they were singing the, you know, God Save the Queen at the end, and it just, I don't know, when you read the lyrics of the song, and of course the only one there that wasn't singing it was the Queen.
Yeah.
Like, and she shouldn't be singing it,
right?
Because the song's about her,
right?
And it was just, I don't know, it was just really weird. It was like it's like a song of your worst nightmare, Josh. Right. I mean, it is. It's. I mean, like I said, it's the little things though that was really, you know, interesting, and everybody was singing. Meghan Markle was singing it.
Yeah, no.
Queen wasn't singing it, and she shouldn't be singing it.
No, she shouldn't sing it.
She's like, I've heard it enough. She's like, but I'll hear it again.
It's about her, yeah. I mean, yeah, if she sings it, I mean, she has to change it to God Save Me. I mean, that just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm sure she's not sick of it.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure she loves it. Yeah,
I mean, she's the longest serving monarch in British history, as we mentioned, but I bet she's not sick of it. I think it's probably a pretty good gig.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you can get it. If you're,
it's like only like 1 in a billion chance, maybe.
Right. Yeah. And 1 in 6 billion, really, I guess, because there's only one of them in the world.
Yeah, but there's other monarchs, but not her, though. Because she's like, you know, it.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, there are other monarchs, but for the most part, there's only one Queen of England.
Is she like the Zeus of monarchs?
Dude, she just got a really good PR team, I feel like. We all just know about it, you know?
And when we get into Listory, I feel like we're going to be able to discuss we'll be able to discuss how certain monarchs in the past have helped set the stage for that PR team.
Yeah. So what else?
So
did you like her second dress at all? Because they said Givenchy did the first, but Stella McCartney did the second. And
you know, I don't recall having an active thought about which one I liked better, but
I think the second one was better. Did you see that huge ring though? The you know, aquamarine one that Princess Diana wore. It was like huge blue diamond ring. You know?
Oh, cool.
I was like, dude, that's sick. Like that's all you see. You see this like this white dress, and you just see like boom in your face.
Yeah,
I like the second dress better.
Yeah. And then they got into the little vintage, you know, Jaguar, whatever, how you say it, car.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
I did notice the steering wheel was on the right side, though.
It
But
was.
what I mean by right, I mean our side.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, really? It was.
It was on the
Yeah.
left
It was
side.
on the left side. Really?
Mhm.
That's curious. Why is that? In a Jaguar?
I don't know, because I thought Jaguars were actually like British
Yeah,
made.
they are. No, I actually knew a dude who had a Jaguar in the old apartment I used to live in, and I always used to say it's like it's a cool car, but the steering wheel's on the wrong side because it was on the left. It was an American one.
Well,
Like,
maybe
if
it's
you're
an
gonna-
American one. Who knows? That'd be really odd, though.
Yeah, that is weird. Well, know what though? But doesn't Ford owns part of Jaguar now?
Not
So-
anymore.
Oh, that's right. They sold it.
Mhm.
But I wonder if they don't really
It
count.
was
as
left.
that.
Well, yeah.
That would be so difficult to me. I think I've driven a lot of weird cars and stuff, but I think it would be. It would take a second to get used to driving a right-hand drive car with a manual transmission, like most of them are in England. So I actually drove a right-hand drive car here in the U.S. for a year or so. It's pretty cool, but it was an automatic.
Yeah, it would get confusing to do both.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be curious. I bet you get used to it pretty quick though.
Mm.
When you go to the Virgin Islands, if you've ever been there,
Nope, kids.
it's it was originally inhabited by the Brits, but most of the cars they're usually like beaters, but most of them come from the U.S. So they drive on the right side of the road, but most of the cars are left-hand drive. So it's really crazy. It's like, I mean, that would just, it's like the opposite of everything
No, it's screwed.
that everybody knows. So it's really screwy.
It's like the mailman here.
Yeah.
You know, the mailman's on the opposite.
That's what I
On the
drove
right
when
side.
I had a right-hand drive car. I had a mail Jeep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did for like a year. I drove in the mail Jeep and said Cheerio a lot. It's a fun car to drive though. You know?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Just bolted a seat into the passenger seat, which isn't the passenger seat, it's the driver's side. Bolted a seat over there, throw pillows in the back in case you had people riding with you. It's a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. It was cool.
Did you pretend you were Kevin Costner at all?
No.
No.
I'm dating myself here, bro. I'm gonna show you guys how old I am. I don't know that movie was out yet when I.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think The Postman was out yet. when I was driving a mail Jeep. This was a long time ago. This is 90s, man.
God, how old are you again?
37.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were like 60.
Did you? Yeah, I know. I have that. I have that about me because I'm so wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're only
Yeah.
2 years older than me, so
Yeah. 30's
it's
fine.
Hmm.
3 years older than me. Tiffany's younger than all of us.
Thank goodness.
fine.
Yeah, that happens. I don't actually remember how old you are, Tiffany, but I do remember that when you told me some years ago, I remember having a thought that, like, oh god, she's actually closer to my daughter's age than she is to mine.
No, I'm only 31. Although I kept thinking, like, every time I gone to the doctor this year or something like the dentist or something random when they kept showing my birthday, I'm like, I'm not 31 yet, am I?
Okay, so
And
I
I
was
was
wrong
like-
about
and I
that.
was
You're
like,
not closer to my daughter's age.
Yeah, I was like super confused, and then I'm like, I'm 30, and then my cousin goes, no, dude, you're like 31. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What just
Wow.
happened here?
Been there.
Like,
Yeah.
did I miss this?
No, when you get to a certain age, you just kind of stop keeping track.
Yeah, it gets really confusing.
True. What's up with Meghan Markle's dad?
Yeah,
What's going
having
on
a-
with that drama?
Yeah, like he had a heart attack or something, or stents put in, and then he couldn't like come to the wedding. But then there was also something how he sold like pictures to the press about like they could take pictures of him like getting ready and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that became like a little scandal. It was just super weird. Like none of her family like attended. How weird is that?
Yeah, I mean
Like-
her mom was there, and she kind of looked pretty cool.
I feel like her mom looks super anxious though sometimes though. Like when she was getting married, she's
She
like,
knew
"This
nobody there, you know. I mean, that's a big event to walk into not knowing anybody.
Yeah, I feel like the royals kind of took over her life. Like, you know, Prince Charles walking her down the aisle, you know, like Kate Middleton and Prince William are there. You know, she doesn't have a bridesmaid, you know, just her mom. Like, I
Right.
feel like it's a royal takeover, man.
How do you feel? You're a modern.
So it wouldn't be
woman.
the first time.
Yeah. So Tiffany, you're a modern woman. How do you feel about the whole she didn't have anyone give, Prince Charles walked her down the aisle, but he didn't give away the bride.
I mean, I really didn't think too much about it, to be honest. I was like, okay, so you're gonna walk, by yourself in the beginning, and then you'll have Prince Charles. I was like, it's just kind of weird,
Mm-hmm.
But Prince Charles has given somebody else away before, in like their kind of family. So not like immediate family, but So it's not the first time he's ever done that. I don't know. The whole situation was just weird.
Yeah.
There's been so much drama. Like, she has like a sister, stepsister who's always like selling stories to the press. It's like so much drama all the time.
She had a first cousin, who was there in England for the wedding, but he wasn't invited to the wedding. But he grows pot, and he named his new strain. He released it like in honor of the royal wedding and called it Markle Sparkle.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
And then he got arrested for having a knife on him at a club.
Oh gosh.
That night in London.
See, there's just so much drama.
It is.
Like, the Queen's probably like, oh, do you really want to marry her? All this drama.
Right. It's like, look what happens. It's like Americans come here and it's just a mess.
It is.
But hey, it's pretty cool. Americans are part of the royal family now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's neat.
Yeah. I think Prince Charles is pretty happy about it.
I think
he was actually like a little doting dad that day. He's like, you know what? I'm just happy that they're happy. He doesn't even care.
I think so too. I'm with you. I really like Charles. I feel like sometimes he gets a bad rap. I think he's a cool dude. They kind of even like paint this thing like he's kind of soft or kind of a sissy, and that's really untrue too. He actually was like a captain of a ship and stuff when he was.
Yeah, I mean, he was like very like he went to whatever I forget what school it was that his father sent him to, and he had like a tough time there when he was younger. But I mean, he just like was a more delicate child. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Pretty, I mean,
how much is that his fault though? I mean, he's in direct line to be King of England, right. So he couldn't do a whole lot. I mean, that's what they're saying about Prince William is, unlike Harry, he couldn't serve on the front line because he was, in that direct line to be, King of England.
And I give him credit for, I never served in the military. I give guys like that credit for actually, you're in the royal family. You don't have to serve in the military.
Yeah, it's just like, but they have nothing else to do. It's just like expected of them.
Yeah,
but even the Queen like did stuff during World War II. I mean, she didn't have to, but she helped soldiers and stuff like that. So
and Philip, her husband, I mean, he was actually kind of a badass in World War II.
Yeah, he did a lot.
Yeah, and they didn't want Harry actually to be in the front lines either, but he just kind of disobeyed them. I heard like little stories about him. He would like take guys who are ranked below him, and he'd like have them like pretend like they were him while he was like going off on important things, and he'd like just grab some private, be like, hey, you kind of look like me, you're gonna pretend like you're me for a little while.
We ended up getting pulled off because Ennis found out that he was on the front line, and they had to reassign him. And
he was actually in danger for a little bit, like during that. He went to the Afghanistan war? Maybe.
I think so. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, but Prince Charles, he's pretty sweet. I like him. I think he gets a bad rap for Diana, but in reality, he's like, I don't think he's like that bad. I just think his position puts him in difficult spots, perhaps. So,
what's up with? I don't want to talk too much about rumors, but we can talk about rumors. We got a silly show going today, and like I said, for those of you who are tuning in for like the hardcore history, this show will be more hardcore history, and later on, but. What's up with the rumors about Prince Harry's real dad? You ever seen any of that?
Oh, yeah, like basically, because Diana did have affairs or something like that.
Right.
Was it her equestrian guy or something like that?
Yeah, James Hewitt is the guy they claim. I was trying to pull up
Do you even feel bad for Harry? Because remember, like, they said after William, like, Prince Charles wanted a girl. Like, and then he was just disappointed that it was Harry.
Yeah.
Like, poor Harry, dude. He's like...
James Hewitt is his name. He was a captain of the guard, and he did have a definite affair. I mean, an admitted affair with Princess Diana. Admitted it. He admitted it. They had a long time affair. And
that picture says a lot. I'm just saying.
He looks a lot like him. Now, this dude denies it vehemently. He says the affair didn't even begin until Harry was 2 years old. And that's what their official story says. Some of these pictures are really damning. They really do. James Hewitt and Harry, I mean, they're both big-time gingers, you know.
I mean, they're never going to say anything contradictory to what they've already said. They're like, we're sticking to our guns
That's
about
kind of a
that.
deep issues right here.
It is. Now, the thing is, though, you know, I just showed a picture to these two, and maybe Adam can throw it up later on the site. Maybe not, depending on the vein of his mood as this show progresses. But that picture is pretty damning. There are also pictures of Harry and his grandpa, you know, Philip, the Queen's husband, when Philip was younger, and they're like spit image of each other too.
Mm.
You know, they very much look alike. And actually, Charles and him don't seem to have much of a resemblance now.
You know what?
But young Charles and young Harry looked a lot alike.
They have. He has his dad's eyes. He has Charles's eyes. You could tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. I actually don't buy it. I dug pretty deep into this conspiracy about a week ago or so, and because when I first saw that picture that was floating around with the two of them, they both got their ginger red hair slicked back with the mega freckles going on.
It's tough.
And I was like, wow.
You ever see Me, Myself, and Irene?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's like those kids' dicks are bigger than the sausage. Sorry.
See, Adam gets mad at me, and then he has to, you know, he takes our educational history show, and he just turns it into dick and fart jokes. Just kidding, buddy. You're doing a great job, man. Thanks a lot, bro. But I don't know if anyone is curious into the conspiracy theories. This does seem like more of a topic for our Deep Issues podcast. But yeah, James Hewitt and Harry do look like. But I must say, I'm not a believer in that conspiracy. Having dug a little deeper into it, Harry and his grandpa look a hell of a lot alike too. And I mean, some of the pictures they show, Harry and James Hewitt do look a lot alike, but they both just kind of look like redheaded British dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know that that's really. Tiffany, what was the best part? What was the best part of the wedding for you?
I think the fans probably. I really liked that because there were so many of them just outside Windsor Castle. Everybody was so happy. I mean, you know, people had like faces of the Queen on. They had faces of Meghan Markle on. Like, and even like Prince Harry and William, they did a walkabout the night before with fans and stuff, and everybody was just so happy. Cool. And like everybody was just happy. Like I think that's just like what's so great about it is that you can just create this environment where everybody's just like
a lot of Americans and Australians and Canadians as well were there.
Yeah, people like flew from all over the globe to see that. So I mean, you know, everybody was happy. I mean, people partied, I'm sure.
Yeah. Not
just, you know, like them going to do their little reception at Charles's Frogmore Palace, but I mean, people were partying at bars, I'm sure, just like they were. So.
Well. Yeah, they left the bars open all night.
A few hours later than they normally do.
Okay, that's cool. And you know, like we mentioned, if you're one of the 600 people that got invited to this wedding, I mean, you're pretty cool. You're basically one of the 600 coolest people on the planet.
Well, do you know that they actually selected people to be inside Windsor Castle too? Like, you know, like the people lining the streets, they selected them. It was like 1,000 people, and then there was like an extra maybe, I don't even know if it was like 600 or 800 or something like that got to actually sit inside where they came out and like went in there, you know, when they came out and did the kiss. Yeah, so
that to me, that's the best part.
Yeah,
it really was. I love seeing the first kiss in front of the crowd. I love it how they kind of changed the ceremony to not do it in the church and then.
Yeah, it was just so casual, like a lot of things that they did. They didn't do a balcony kiss, but they just came out and kissed at the church. I mean, just little details that were all changed. I mean, the pastor, you know.
Yeah.
Just little tiny things. So.
And the 600 people who were invited to the wedding, all 600 of them were invited to the immediately following brunch that Prince Charles was holding, but then only 200 got to go to the actual reception. So basically,
yeah, because there was
how do you get on that short list?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely friends and family because the other people are, you know, I mean, people like Elton John, they're gonna make it the full way, you know. Her friend I don't know, Priyanka Chopra, or I don't know how you say her name or whatever. She was an actress too, so she made it. You know, you can see several people, but they went back to Frogmore Hall or Castle or whatever it is, which is Charles's residence. So they just partied there. They even had fireworks, I believe. I was like, this is pretty sweet. I'm just there for the fireworks.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had the luncheon, I think, was at Windsor Hall, so it was in the grounds of the castle, I think.
And you know, they're just pouring champagne that's like $75
champagne and caviar.
Yeah, I mean, just.
But they showed the menu. I read the menu online, and that they were like releasing. I was like, oh gosh, all this sounds so good. Like, sign me up.
Yeah, it would be awesome. How do you feel about the haters? A lot of haters, a lot of royal wedding.
There were a lot of people, and they're like, you know, I don't think she's in it for love or whatever, and she's just acting. I was like, I don't even care at this point. I'm just happy that everybody's happy. Like, if Prince Harry's happy, why aren't we happy?
Yeah, I'm with you, and all the people on social media sharing the memes about how they're these terrible people and they're hangers on. Taxpayers didn't really pay for this.
No.
That's kind of a huge myth.
Yeah.
Like the taxpayers pay.
They get a lot of the stuff for free, though, even. You have to realize, like, I mean, you know what it's like just to bake a cake for the royal family or do that? Like, people would, like, do that for free 20 times over, 100 times over, so. And,
you know, the cost of the wedding, they say is around $33 million.
And most of that's for security and flowers, probably. I got you. And actually, I read most of it's for overtime, too. Mm-hmm, so, like, probably. You know, just the security of the whole event. Because, I mean, how many, like, people are there?
Right.
You know, so.
But $33 million, it's rich people throwing a big fancy wedding.
Yeah.
The idea that this comes off of the backs of the poor Brits who are lining up at the food banks because the economy's not great there. It's a fallacy.
Dude, it boosts the economy.
It does.
You know, I mean, the Duchy of Cornwall or whatever for that Charles holds, I mean, I bet you that paid for most of it. Yeah. You know, so.
I'm sure. No, I mean, you're right. And just, so this idea that if you want to be a hater, fine, be a hater. But this idea that, you know, that this was done on the backs of the working class Brits is just, it's just not true.
No.
And it's not. They're like you said, Tiffany, the boost to the economy alone helped so many British people out. So
yeah, I mean, the travel and everything, people coming there, like, I mean, you know, it's definitely a boost. And for people who don't like her, even if we don't like her, who cares? Yeah. I mean, do you know what it takes to, like, take on a role like that, you know? So she's, like, very good in front of the cameras, and maybe that's something that he needed in a wife, something that's super comfortable, you know?
Sure.
And you can tell they're in love. I mean, like, when you saw, like, when you see Will and Kate's, like, interview footage compared to Harry and Meghan's, they're so different. Like, Will and Kate are always so separate, or, like, it's like, are they in love? You know, like, when you see them next to each other, they always seem, like, so awkward. But, you know, there's so much expected out of them as compared to Meghan and Harry. They can be, like, fun-loving with each other, but they definitely, their interaction is, like, you can tell they like each other. Yeah. So and that's all that matters.
Harry's what? He's sixth in line, right?
I think it's sixth now, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he always knew that there was really no way he was going to be king, but...
Well, I mean, hey, dude, Queen Victoria, you know, she was, like, fifth in line when she was born, and somehow she made queen, so...
Right. No, she did. It does happen. But at this rate, I mean, it would have to be some really nasty tragedy to,
you can't even fly. Like, that's why you're not even supposed to fly, like, even heirs and stuff like that. Like, when Prince William flies with his kids, he's not supposed to. Because then that creates issues with the line of succession. Like, if something happens, you know.
Right. It's just...
But it does.
I mean, and it's royalty for them, but we do that here in the United States. That's why the president and the vice president never fly together.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's just normal. It's protocol.
Yeah, it's just, you gotta want to lie. That's why they give the State of the Union address and they pick one of the cabinet members and hide them somewhere. So
with the briefcase.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. Some cloak and dagger shit.
They tried to make a little TV show about that, Designated Survivor, with Kiefer Sutherland. Mm-hmm. It's actually a decent show.
Do you think Paul Ryan wouldn't mind so much if the vice president and president flew together?
Maybe not. I don't know. Could be. I mean, he's next.
Well, he's next. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
We do. Is there any random British stuff you want to throw out before we jump into Listory?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we covered a lot. We could cover so much more about this topic, and it's hard. You could take a few hours and talk about it, but we could.
And again, you know, a promise to the people listening out there. Hey, maybe you like this. This isn't going to be the last lighthearted show we ever do. there'll be plenty. But the next British history show we do, we're going to make sure is
serious,
is hardcore British history, because that's, you know, some of Tiffany and I's like our favorite stuff. You know, I mean, so we can go very in depth in you know, crusades and you know, wars and
Love the Crusades.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. We will definitely have a show on Crusades. Right?
Mhm.
You're down for that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we're actually going to mention the Crusades maybe just a tiny bit in a little bit after we get to Listory, which, if you've never listened to the show before, Listory is Tiffany and I have each come up with a list of 3 of something this week. It is our 3 favorite British monarchs. And we do not tell each other what is on our Listory, but we do show the illustrious Adam Hernandez our list. And this week, we actually have 2 doubles.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen at all.
So instead of 6, there's only going to be
4.
4 things. Thanks. Math skills.
Yeah, we're horrible math people.
Yeah, math skills. You threw it out there though. You're clutch. You're clutch on that math problem right there.
Yeah.
So thanks, Jay.
Basic addition. I'm great at.
Yeah, no, because you saw me struggling.
Yeah.
You saw me struggling. That's what co-hosts do. Like, you saw me struggling with that math, but you throw out the math skills. So let's do our Listory. I guess I'll start, and then you can, because number 3 for me was Queen Elizabeth. Not Queen Elizabeth II. She's cool, and we already talked to her about her. But Queen Elizabeth I, the last Tudor Queen of England, daughter of King Henry VIII.
Anne Boleyn. Yes. Don't forget her.
Oh, yes. Was she tutor?
She tutored goofy podcasters.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and Anne Boleyn, I know, is one of your favorite people in British history. This is, of course, her daughter, her only daughter.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of King Henry VIII's 3 children,
Yep.
all of whom became monarchs.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be throwing Edward or Mary out there.
I don't think so either.
For one of our favorite monarchs, but you know, Queen Elizabeth, obviously very cool, the Virgin Queen, as she was known at the time, and the namesake of our current queen. Not our current queen, their current queen.
Let's just say she's our current queen. Yeah. Screw it.
Adam doesn't like it when we say that.
Rand Paul is his heart is broken.
Yeah, I know. It's all my libertarian Federalist buddies are just listening, thinking like,
I need to have Dorf cut that one out.
Yeah, just like who is this guy, and what did he do with our anarchist podcaster?
God.
But anything else you want to say about Queen Elizabeth, or where do you want to take the conversation with?
No, I mean, I just love her, not only because she's Anne Boleyn's daughter, but I mean, I think she took political advantage in not getting married and molded them together. I mean, how amazing is that? She's like, it's like, it's hard being a woman in that time.
It is.
And to just be like, I'm not going to get married. But she also strung people along, dude. It's like the art of, like, never getting married.
Right. No, it is. I mean, brilliant political strategy, basically.
Yeah, because they say, why did she do that?
Power.
But it's like, it has to be for political strategy, you know? I mean, it's just like it kept her safe in times that were uncertain, too. So to say, I'm going to marry this person, potentially have the Duke of Anjou, I believe he came one or a few times, and I'm going to entertain that for a little bit. So you have some immunity for some time. I mean, she wasn't stupid.
Yeah, because it's not like she ever told them, like, hey, I'm never going to get married. Because then other people would start mounting their, political aspirations in her direction and think about it. But no, she didn't do that. She kept the option open and then just never took it.
Interesting though you said that, Tiffany, because a lot of people during the wedding were like talking about, oh yeah, Meghan Markle, she's a feminist, and she's this and she's that, and that's what you heard about a lot about, and that's great. But think about Elizabeth, and you're like, she's probably, if she was alive, she'd be like, whatever.
I created feminism. She's like.
And, and look at Queen Elizabeth II, even for that matter, too. It's like, you can talk about feminism all you want, but I've been I've been the monarch of England for my whole life here, so and I'm a girl, so
I've been telling men what to do for.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. The one thing that Queen Elizabeth I loses from this, though, is that then you don't get your heir to take over.
Yeah, but even that lack of heir, she was still her reign was so stable that the lack of an heir, or the succession issue, just became secondary. It wasn't even a big issue.
Sure.
And at the end, it was just understood that James would just become king, and they'd become united. You know? So it was just it is what it is.
You're right, in that it never actually hurt stability of the nation.
No.
But it would be kind of a bummer to, she kind of knew that she was going to be passing the throne to this dude that she didn't really like very much. Yeah. I mean, James II, he's James VI of Scotland, then he becomes James II of England, unifies the throne, becomes a united kingdom, if you will. And he married Queen of Scots, was Elizabeth's archenemy.
Yeah, and it's so weird. That's the one thing I don't like about Elizabeth I is her interaction with Mary was so weird. Why not just go over? You guys are two female monarchs trying to do this shit alone. Why not just do in some meeting? But they never met, not one time. So it's just why don't you come together and maybe do something together? But it's just nope. They were just forced to hate each other and always did, and just I don't know. It's so weird. Yeah. It's the one thing I didn't like.
It's kind of like when you're dating a girl and you have a friend who's a girl. And you just want them to be friends, but you just know they won't be.
Yeah.
Because chicks do chick stuff. And it's they get up in each other's shit. And right now Tiffany, and she's kind of wanting to be yeah, that's not true about girls, but
no, girls are shady.
Yeah, but she knows what's up. And Adam's trying to be no, I'm as the resident liberal here, I'm gonna jump in here and tell Josh why he's wrong. But
no, I know girls are. But I know girls are vicious, man.
Yeah, but they both know.
I can only imagine what Kate Middleton was thinking to herself as Meghan Markle was walking down the aisle.
Yeah, I mean, she got the the biggest smile in the world on her face. She's doing everything right. She's got the royal wave going, and in her head, all it's thinking is, "This bitch."
She's bitch is stealing my thunder.
I remember seeing this meme.
She's good luck being queen, ho.
I did see this meme though when no, I think it was on Family Guy when it was the difference between men and women. It was two women are sitting there, they're oh man, your dress is so awesome, that's so great, and what does that really mean? It means that dress fucking sucks. And then they just showed two guys oh man, that's a cool shirt. Hidden meaning, it's a cool shirt.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that, but hey, what are you gonna do? And hey, what is James II of England, who is the first leader of both England and Scotland? He does, in his defense, because England was the bigger throne, he actually left Scotland and actually never returned after that. Came to England and knew that now this is where I'm going to have to rule the entire kingdom from, and left his home and did that, and to get his little kind of special revenge, because everybody's always got to get their last final dig in, he had Elizabeth buried right next to Mary, Queen of Scots.
They are buried, yeah.
Yeah, right next to each other, and he did it under the guise of, oh, they're the two greatest women I ever knew, so I'm going to bury them next to each other. When he knew, it's oh god, these chicks hated each other. I'm just gonna do it, I'm gonna honor the former queen by burying her right next to my mom, who she hated. But hey, that's I guess everybody's gotta kind of get their digs in. So who's next? That is covered. Was she number 3 for you, Queen Elizabeth?
I think she was number 2.
She was number 2 for you. Okay, so we've covered your number 2 and my number 3. Who was your number 3?
Queen, well, I don't know. I don't think I've numbered them really.
Okay, well, just who do you want to go with next?
Let's just go with Queen Victoria.
Okay, Queen Victoria, who was my number 3.
Yeah.
As well. So Queen Victoria.
I knew a woman wouldn't be number 1.
Oh, you are so certain of this. You're so certain of this, but you do not know who my number 1 is.
Oh, I bet Henry II.
You think so?
I would throw down money on that.
Okay.
Eleanor of Aquitaine or whatever. I mean, that's his wife. I mean, right?
Yeah, you know me. You know my stuff. But let's talk Queen Victoria.
Okay.
Queen Victoria. She was the longest reigning monarch
Mm-hmm.
until
Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth II just broke that record. But when you were talking earlier about the kind of the class and the way people respect the monarchy of England, I feel like a lot of that has to do with the way Queen Victoria held herself as the Queen of England.
Mm-hmm.
When she took over as queen, the monarchy was really hated at the time by people of England. But she spun that around. She changed that and brought it to this point where, hey, we're not really leading anymore. We're still here. We're still important. But we're kind of going to be in a figurehead in a lot of ways as we lend aspects of democracy and republicanism to, I know that England can never be a republic because the basic definition of a republic is a nation without a king. So that can't really happen. But they brought in a lot of those aspects of democracy and a republic style of government with a parliamentary system. Under her, she endorsed it, and it kind of started bringing back that love of the English monarchy to the English people. And I feel like she has a lot to, she has a lot of credit should be given to her for that.
Yeah, I think she had a rough life, though. I mean, earlier, what I like about her is that she's very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier in her life, she was, like, just stuck at Kensington Palace constantly. Like, I think her mother even slept in the same room as her entire life until she was, like, 18. And then she became queen, and she's like, fuck that. Like, we're going to go to Buckingham Palace. This is where we're going to be based from now, and you're going to go over here.
Yeah.
Like, but she grew up in, like, Kensington system.
Her uncle was king, right?
Was it her uncle? Yeah. It's like King William IV, I believe.
Yeah, he was...
Because she was fifth in line to the throne, but then her dad died, William died, and, like, the other brothers, I think, that they had died. So what are the chances that she would become queen?
Sure. And then even after that, when she became heir, her uncle died younger than people expected.
Yeah, because she became queen at 18.
Yeah.
So
and
it's just weird.
71, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Pretty
it's just
cool.
weird. It's like that destiny of, Victoria and, like, Elizabeth. You would think that they would never become queen because there's really no chance, but somehow they become great queens and they do become queens.
Right, and that's something we didn't talk about when we were mentioning Elizabeth I, is that what's so ironic is people talk about King Henry VIII so much, and we could do an entire show about King Henry VIII.
We could do, like, a whole series.
And we probably will. I'm sure we will at some point do a whole show on King Henry VIII and his wives and his children. But he was so opposed to having a female heir. And what's so ironic is the first two ruling queens of England are both his daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he does finally get his male heir, and Edward dies.
He's, like, weak and, like, just
sickly and
just dies
at a young age. He does become king, and he does serve as king.
Yeah.
And then that leads away to Mary being Queen of England, a very tumultuous time that, was tearing the country apart. And that, again, shows how great of a monarch Elizabeth I was, that she had to piece that all back together.
Yeah, she just brought stability, but she also looked at her sister and saw that, Philip of Spain, kind of ruled their relationship a little bit, with Mary. Yes. So it brought, like, Catholicism back in and, like, just murdering across the board, like, just mass genocide at this point. And then she's like, screw that, I don't care really, I prefer Protestantism, but, if you guys want to practice Catholicism, I'm not going to, like, burn you guys at the stake.
Right.
She exhibited tolerance and stability, which is what people needed.
And something that people, linking back to the wedding, too, something that people often forget about or don't realize is that the Queen of England is still the head of the Church of England as well. Mm-hmm. And they are very religious people. The royal family. So when you talk about the Anglican religion, or even the American version, the Episcopalians, the head of that religion that decides how the dogma of that religion and basically the ceremony of that religion is run goes back to the royal family.
Goes back to Anne Boleyn.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, it does.
Like, just one moment, be like, I need a son. Okay, let's just break from the church.
Mm-hmm.
There it is in that moment.
It's so true. So true. Yeah, gotta love Anne Boleyn. And hey, King Henry VIII. I mean, I know he's a crazy character to talk about, but yeah.
I know, it's like, should we put him on the list, you know? But I mean, I only love him because he was so crazy and he gave us so many good queens, you know? Because I mean, all of them were like, I'm not saying all of them were great queens, but they were all like good in their own way, you know? So you gave us like 6 historical figures that were great to, you know, study, but him himself, it was just like he was good in the beginning of his reign, but you know, it's just like, I don't know.
Kind of 9, you know, like six wives and 3 children that are just so fascinating. And he's a fascinating dude too.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good king in the beginning. That's what makes you want to put him on the list. But then it's just like he became so feeble and ridiculous, and just, you know, I don't know.
And he does start the Church of England. I mean, it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. Who else you got, Tiffany?
I put Richard the First.
Love it.
Yeah, I thought you would. So
very cool.
Is that the guy from Braveheart?
No,
No.
It's Sean Connery in Prince of Thieves, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, I just like him because he's very chivalrous and generous, and you know, you see that. But he was only king for 10 years, and he only spent like 10 months in England. Yeah. He didn't actually prefer England. He said it was rainy and, you know, just like terrible. But and he used England to, you know, set up his ventures. You know, like, okay, like I need this money to go do this, you know, battle or war. You know,
who's what Count of Poitou. Was that? Or no, I'm sorry. He was actually the Count of Aquitaine.
I think so.
Aside from he is Henry II, his parents Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine divided up their. You know, they knew that one of them would be heir to the throne of England, but you know at that point, you know they're from Normandy, and you know you got Normandy, Aquitaine, Poitou, all these areas.
Yeah.
You know, linking them all together.
Yeah. See, I think I was like so torn. I was gonna choose, you know, I do love the Yorkist, like King Edward IV, but what I don't like about the Yorks is that they just like self-destruct, you know, like this huge shit show. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying that Edward was, but it's like he did marry for love, even though he got around a lot, you know, we'll say, but he was still like a good king. So that was gonna be my other one, but it's so hard to choose sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and when you say that too. You know, listen, if you want to crucify English kings, or you know, figuratively crucify English kings for screwing around on their wives, well, then you're gonna every single one of them.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what else was there? We didn't have like internet or any of these other things. Not that I condone those things because I really dislike them. But I mean, what else do you do besides drink, eat, and like have sex with your wives or other chicks? Like, I mean, they're really let's go hunting. Okay.
I mean, else? it was part of the culture. It was expected. You know, I mean, royal people, royal men especially, they slept with anybody they wanted to.
And not to mention like Elizabeth Woodville, which was Edward IV's wife. I mean, she had a ton of kids. She was always pregnant. You know, it's like like dude, I gotta have somebody else while you're pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's how it works when you're the King of England. And people are thinking like, oh my god, this Tiffany chick is like a male chauvinist pig. but she's just it was just the mindset. She's just telling it how it is.
Yeah, dude, if you're gonna get that high up in the chain, you know, like you just understand. You know, I mean, you could try to stop it, or if you had a really good relationship, perhaps it might not happen. But in reality, people are gonna flaunt themselves in front of them just to get, you know, favor or something like that. It happens so easily.
Right.
You could be drunk one day. You might even be a good guy, and you just be like a little too much alcohol and beer, and you're like, well, it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's like sorry, I can't help it. Every chick in the country wants to have sex.
That's literally what
I mean, it's like it just kind of it's how it goes down, and that's rationalizing away, you know, bad behavior. But it is what it is. And truth be told, I mean, I think that Harry and Meghan are maybe actually an exception to this old rule, and they're breaking it. I really do feel that way. And William and Kate may even be.
I think so too, but they're awkward.
They are awkward. They're very awkward.
But I mean, a lot's expected of them, and although there never used to be that public PDA though, so maybe they're just old fashioned still a little bit.
I think they might be. But truth is, most people, I was going to say most women, but I'm going to just say most people in the world, if they were put in that situation, they said, listen, you know, you're beautiful, I really like you. You're going to become the Princess of England. I might screw around on you. You're not allowed to screw on me. Screw around on me.
Although
but you get to be the Princess of England and do all the princess stuff. Most people are gonna say,
okay.
"Yeah, okay, that's a good deal."
Although Diana, she did do
She
her.
did?
She did.
She
I mean,
did.
nobody ever like crucified her for
Oh,
that. Though.
Diana is. I mean, short hair don't care. I mean, she's just like. I mean, she didn't care. She did what she wanted. Nobody. I mean, that's why some people believe that maybe she was. Her death was not an accident.
Yeah.
That's again maybe
that's
more,
a deep issue
that's
show.
a deep issue show. Yeah.
There are so many deep issues that we're revealing
yeah,
on this.
We're just like kind of we're hinting at them.
Yeah, we're uncovering them.
Yeah, we're just like kind of just the basics of it, and then maybe later teasing you with what could potentially happen later on deep issues.
So just admit it. Who's your third one?
My third one I mean, Adam can vouch for me here. I am known for being very progressive and pluralistic and politically correct. So my third one, also a woman.
Shut up.
Word, what? Okay, my third one, this is a cheater. I'm cheating, though. I actually am cheating. My third one is Eleanor of Aquitaine, who is one of my very favorite historical figures. Tiffany, threw out spoiler alert earlier because she knows that I wrote one of my theses on this in college. Eleanor of Aquitaine technically was not a ruling monarch.
I know, so that's why it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. But through her, this gives me an opportunity to mention a whole bunch of other monarchs, because what I loved about Eleanor of Aquitaine is that she was married to 2 kings, gave birth to 3 kings. Very cool.
She's like the Barbara Bush of British Monarchs.
She was. I mean, Eleanor of Aquitaine was Queen of France first. Gets her marriage annulled from Louis VII, then goes to England, marries that king, and becomes the Queen of England. Very cool. And she basically works as the Queen Mother and basically almost like ruling queen, while Richard, who, you had mentioned, he was only in England for about 10 months, his entire reign. Eleanor was kind of running the country through a lot of that. So she is the mother of King Richard, famous for the Crusades. She is the mother of King John, who is infamous for the signing of the Magna Carta. She is the mother of the young King Henry, who never technically actually ruled, and wife of King Henry II. I mean, this woman is just this is, to me, is one of the most incredible people that ever lived throughout history, in a time when it was impossible almost to be a woman in power. She was.
Yeah.
She controlled the lives of kings, and nobody told her what to do. And she's an absolutely fascinating figure. Went on the crusade, the Second Crusade. The crusade was kind of like the biggest failure of them all, basically, but she went on that crusade. And had a big part in encouraging the troops and encouraging the leaders who went along that trip. So her and the Plantagenet family are just some of my very favorite things to study in all of history.
Yeah, I do love the War of the Roses. That's like one of my favorites, but I'm definitely not a Lancastrian. I'm definitely a York, but the Yorks are so screwed up.
Yeah.
And Henry VII, he was just so smart. I didn't really like his rule, but I mean, it was a stable rule. But it was only because his mother, I mean, we can get into whole deep issues with, Princes in the Tower and all this type of stuff. Right. Like, was Margaret Beaufort, like, really murdering the princes in the Tower, or was Henry just oblivious, Or if he knew about it, that was like the greatest coup in history,
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Unique fact that when they were marching to the crusade, because I feel like the thing I'm going to say next, people know this, but I feel like they don't really think about it much, but, way back when, when England would go to war with, what is now Jerusalem, you had to walk there. Like they didn't have planes or cars or boats. I mean, do you realize what that entails? That you decide that you're going to go to war with somebody, and you walk there. I mean, like that. Think about that. Maybe they had a horse. The rich people had horses. The officers and the kings and queens had horses.
Yeah, I was watching The White Queen recently, and it was just a 10-episode thing or whatever.
Did you with the X-Men villain, or?
No, it was just on Stars or whatever.
No, it's from Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I'm sorry. We're being dumb. Please continue.
Yeah, it was just awesome because they showed, like, in the season finale, you show them, like, marching, like, Richard III marching against Henry Tudor. When they're walking there and it's raining and everybody's, like, deserting and you're like, God, this is so awful. Like, I can't even watch it. It's so awful. Like, can you imagine living life where you're just, like, marching away in dirt and mud and you're like, we gotta camp out here because it's just so horrible and rainy.
You could legitimately be a historian, and some people are, that does nothing except basically analyze how terrible life was to live. I mean, just...
That's like a real micro history right there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to go back that far. Just go back, like, 175 years from where we're at right now. And you will just be inundated with the idea of just how nasty a place Earth was until pretty recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really just nasty, smelly people.
Well, even during, like, Queen Victoria's time, it was awful, like, Yeah. I mean, they didn't even, at that time, they were putting, like, sanitary systems in the palace, but, I mean, can you imagine even not having that? You just gotta go somewhere else, like, to the privy or whatever you want to call it.
I recall hearing that King Louis XIV, who was just, this illustrious person with, was just considered to be the height of luxury, bathed about 3 times a year.
Yeah. And a lot of the times, even in those times, in the 1600s, people would bathe like once a year, and a lot of the times it happened around June because that was like wedding season. So that was the one time you'd be able to bathe.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, like, people shitting in the river and then I'm, like, bathing in the river? This is, like, fucking how, like, the Black Plague had to, like, come about because I'm bathing in your shit.
Right.
Like, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically, like, you ride your horse there, the horse is taking a crap in the river, and you're like, oh, God, I'm just gonna jump in and get so clean.
Yeah.
It's like so clean. What kind of soap do we bring? Just grab the dirt and rub it on yourself, and that's the soap.
Yeah, it's nice and gritty.
Yeah.
But didn't they just sit there and dump their shit buckets out of the windows onto the street?
That was still going on in London like 90 years ago. That wasn't like that long ago that they that stopped being a fairly regular practice in London.
It was pretty funny because I was watching this show called Victorian. I think it's Victorian Albert or something like that. And he was just like saying, how do the Romans have better sanitary than we do? Mm-hmm. He's like, this is like, London, whatever it is, And
Sure.
I'm like, he's like, how do they have it like so many hundreds of years earlier?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like they figured it out.
Is that the definition or the big difference between the Dark Ages and
right? Yeah.
I don't want to say antiquity, but
if you think about it, how so many children are born now through a cesarean section. I mean, this comes through Caesar's wife had to, they knew this method in Rome back then, but if you were a woman giving birth or attempting to give birth and you needed a C-section in the United States in 1870 or in Western Europe in 1870, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
You and the kid were gonna die. So, and we're not talking King Henry II or King Henry VIII era. We're talking Victorian era. We're talking, when, if you're alive now, when your great grandparents were alive.
Yeah,
not that long ago.
Dude, childbirthing was like a dangerous business,
Oh, absolutely.
I watched something on Victoria, and they said that she started to use chloroform when she was like giving birth she's like, oh, it's so easy to give birth. And I'm like, bitch, yeah, you're chloroform. Give me some chloroform. This is great.
And even that's something, you know, I'm not a medical expert by any stretch of the imagination, but that's something that just kind of went away like 60 or 70 years ago. The idea that you want the woman to be awake to actually like participate and help push to have a healthy. It was kind of before like just knock her out because this sucks.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
I mean,
this
I'm
is
with
terrible.
her. I'd rather be like knocked out. That's what I like about Victoria. They even said she used to love doing like, I love her personality because they used to say she used to like, I'm not gonna say like drugs, but she had a nice like little medicinal cabinet and stuff like that. You know, she didn't even like really being a mom too much. She was really like a dude. Like, you know, she's like, oh man, I'm like, I gotta be a mom and I gotta do these things, but you know, I'd rather just do like what men do.
Right.
She was like, I like eating and drinking and getting fucked up and like getting it in and just, that's it.
That's, you know, and again, I keep going back to Eleanor of Aquitaine, but she had 10 kids. And she gave birth to 10 kids. She was in her 40s when King John was born. That's not an easy thing to do at that during that era. You know, I mean, we're talking era of the Crusades, and she's in her 40s having kids. Yeah,
that's funny because they call Victoria the grandmother of Europe. So what would that make Eleanor of Aquitaine, like the great grandmother of Europe? Maybe.
Yeah, pretty much. Really. Oh, for sure. Fun fact about Eleanor of Aquitaine: when they were walking to the Second Crusade, you know, they were afraid that the guys were going to start defecting and the soldiers were going to just start running away and they're losing, losing people and losing morale. She actually took her top off
no.
and had all of her handmaidens do the same, and they rode in the front topless.
This is great.
Just because it would like
boost morale.
Then all the guys at the back were trying to walk faster to get up to the front to see the queen's boobs. Just like she's just like, hey, it'll work, right? Like,
dude, she's like
she's like everybody wants to see the queen's boobs, so I'm just gonna lose my top. All my handmaidens will do the same, and it was like a double bonus for her because it was this great idea that worked. She got to feel like, yeah, I'm hot. Everybody knows it. And it pissed off her husband so bad, which she loved, because she was always trying to piss off her husband. So that just, like, worked. Like, you know, I mean, the king didn't want her to do that, but she didn't care. Like, she doesn't listen to kings.
No, she's been a queen.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
So it's like the opposite of Elizabeth. She's like, you know, Spanish Armada. She's like, I might be a feeble woman, but I am a king. Yeah. She's like boosted morale. She's like wearing her little metal, you know, armor. And she's like, you know what? I'm one of you guys.
It's pretty cool.
It's like the opposite, but they both
it worked for
successfully worked for them.
It did. So this has been our fun little show on the British royalty. The Royal Wedding Edition. Tiffany, is there anything else you want to throw out there? Anything else you want to talk about? Royalty, Brits?
No, because I feel like if we keep talking, we'll just talk forever.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to be covered.
Tea and crumpets? No.
Oh, don't get me started on tea. I love tea.
My mom, I should share this with you guys. And actually, you know what? Maybe I could give you this picture too to put up on the webpage as well, because it's a gorgeous picture. My mom at, you know, 6 or 7 in the morning sent me a picture of the spread she had made for my dad and her to watch the royal wedding, and it's champagne and scones and her you know, like Irish you know, pottery and all this stuff. My great grandma was from England, and they have some of her china, her you know, her serving dishes and stuff. So my mom brought them out, and you know, the tea and the scones and the champagne. And
that's pretty exciting. We should all just gone to the tea house over here, you know, and just get our little tea and, you know,
that'd have been cute.
Scones. Just be like, okay.
I should have just brought you guys all over to my mom's house. She did it up. My mom sent me that. I was just like, yeah, I'm sitting on the couch with a cup of coffee, Mom.
She's like, how dare you?
She's like, pretend it's tea. I was like, I will pretend it's tea, but it's it's too early for tea. I mean, I needed like
You need
legit
something,
coffee.
yeah.
You know? I did. I actually woke up that morning and thought like, oh, I should make tea. I'm like, no,
Never gonna
I'm
happen.
tired. I like tea, but like tea's like a treat. Coffee's a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam, anything else you want to throw out there for us?
Rand Paul is very disappointed.
Rand Paul is probably very disappointed with me. He will get over it when I vote for him again. But, well, if he ever runs for anything again, I hope he does. But, Tiffany, anything else you got for us now?
No, I think that was a really good one.
Yeah, I think so. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you liked this episode, we'll have more fun, lighthearted episodes like this. If you thought it was a little too fun, a little too goofy, a little too lighthearted, well, I promise we're going to throw some legit, just like brain-hurting history at you later. You know, later on this and from this show.
What a promo!
Yeah, we're just gonna the stuff that you don't even know you want
Adam's
to
like,
know.
please stop.
Brain history.
Yes, that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff we like here. But hey, thanks everybody for tuning in to the best podcast in history. Immediately following this will be the Xcast. Next week, in this time slot, you can listen to Politics of the Empire with Adam Hernandez and I, and Dorf, our host. And 2 weeks after that, do not miss Deep Issues, where we will be discussing simulation theory.
Deep Issues is next week.
Deep Issues is next week?
Deep Issues.
Don't be screwing it up, bro.
Oh, my bad, everybody. Deep Issues is next week, and then Politics of the Empire week after that. So
No, Politics of the Empire is next week at 8.
Oh, they're both next week.
Deep Issues follows that at 9.
Oh, jeez, I screwed that up big time. Okay, so next week, I'm gonna double down on everything. Next week, do not be anywhere but here, because we have Politics of the Empire talking about whether or not voting matters, and then we have Deep Issues talking about simulation theory.
Queen says no.
Queen says no?
Voting does not matter.
Yes. Well, maybe the Queen's right. I'd like to know how the Queen feels about simulation theory, though, because she's just a simulated bit of information like the rest of us. Or is she? Find out next week, right here on the Empire Media